It's Tromonte and friends. Let's have a conversation. Hey, it's been a while since I had y'all two here. Last time we did a teacher episode, it was a really good episode. I want to thank y'all for coming on. Got a lot of good feedback. Y'all are back here.
We're
for
back.
Part 2.
Part 2.
How y'all feel?
Good.
I'm always good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. Hey, so we're gonna start off like this. A lot has happened in the past year in the educational sector here in Florida, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A lot has happened.
I mean, nationwide. We could just
To speak generally, how do you feel about what's happened within the county where you work? Because you don't work in the same county. It's
No, we work in the same county.
Just in different sectors.
Yeah.
But how y'all feel about everything that's occurred within the past year?
On a
Things you don't like, things you do like.
Well, first of all, I'm gonna teach critical race theory. Let's just be real.
Oh, okay.
Me
We started
too.
off good. All right.
Straight up.
Been teaching it. If it comes up in my classroom, we gonna address it. If it's happening in current events, we gonna talk about it. Point blank. Period. No law is gonna stop me from educating our children and teaching them about their history. My school and every school I've ever been at is 99% black. We gonna talk about some stuff because they come to school wanting to talk about it. So we gonna talk about it.
Why do you think they put that law in place?
Oh, that's just white privilege at its finest. I mean, why do you think they made June 10th today
We don't talk about that. 'Cause
a national
we're off
holiday?
topic.
Because they just wanted to, let's just give them this. We won't give them this.
We'll just
Maybe
go
they be
left
quiet a
without
little bit. No.
Yeah. We agree. I ain't got nothing to say. You know, hey.
First time for everything.
Yeah.
It's a miracle.
Yeah.
This is a miracle. Y'all are both in transitional phases of your educational careers at this very moment, actually. Y'all are both putting a lot of time as well, so it's not like y'all worked a couple of years and then you quit. Why are you at this point in your career, and what is
Just
the
like what
process
the
been
shirt
like to
say.
change?
What the shirt say, teaching is my calling. 33, so that's my Jesus year. It's my purpose year. My purpose is education, and it is in underprivileged, teaching underprivileged children. Will always be. I probably will never leave Title One. Let's put it that way. I might not be at the most, less performing school, which I've been at, nothing but turnaround. But like, I will always be Title One for sure.
Well, her answer is kind of similar to mine. That's why I chose for us to wear the shirts, because education is a true purpose of mine. It doesn't matter to me in what capacity I am teaching. I'm going to deliver whatever I need to deliver to make sure that I make change and impact for students. I'm at this transitional stage in my life is primarily because I don't like what's going on education-wise. There is a lot of things that do need to change. If our students are still in the same predicament that they were in 10 years ago, then we need to start looking at things a little bit differently. How are we delivering our instruction? How are we basically trying to meet the needs of our students? When they say every district, no matter nationwide where you're at, they always say put in the term all students. But I always find out no matter where you go, there are some students that they're not benefiting from the system that is created within education. So I'm in this transitional stage, like, is this really for me in the capacity in which I'm doing it? Do I need to be in the classroom teaching students? Or do I need to be a person that is going to help create laws or make a stronger impact? I don't know. I'm open to that, but I'm also open to leaving altogether. So.
How do you feel about leaving the school that you've been at? Because I know it's hard leaving consistency.
The best way to describe it, it feels like a breakup that you didn't want it to happen. That's what it feels like.
How do you get the sense of the other teachers you work with, how do they feel the same way?
About leaving?
Yeah,
Or the ones that are there?
the ones that are leaving.
See, our situation is completely different. Like the state messed everything up. It came down to when you tell people to find jobs, they find jobs. So I can't fault nobody for leaving, because when they tell you, hey, we don't know what we're going to do, we're going to decide on June 10th, I need everybody to go in transfer period and find a job. That's what people do. Mm-hmm. They call on their old bosses, they call on their friends, they go find jobs. So it's hard for them to be like, oh, I'm going to come back. No, because you went to your old people. So, you can't. So I can't fault nobody for the decision that they made, because in the end, you have to look out for your family, and you got to do what's best for you. My situation's different, because when I went out and found another job, I did that strategically, knowing that school would be all right because they had a coach. Like, they would be okay. But I left for growth. I mean, I was there for almost a decade. It's just time to see other things, see new perspectives, see other leadership styles. Like, it's time to learn more. And I wasn't looking for that opportunity. I mean, my phone rang after I got off the plane from California. So, yeah, when God puts a door in front of you, you run through that.
That's real. Do y'all have the same passion that you had 10 years ago to teach? Or has the passion kind of...
I have more passion. I'm not leaving education.
I have less passion.
Education is my career. Mm-hmm. I mean, you don't get 3 degrees and be like, you know what? I'm not going to do this no more. Only thing I have left is to write a dissertation, which I will eventually do. I'm not leaving education. Mm-hmm. Period.
Mine is totally different, because I feel like my passion was taken from me when it comes to teaching. I don't think that I've ever been given the opportunity to truly be myself, to be as creative as I know that I can be, and to advocate for students the way that I know I can advocate for them. I have been basically said, you do a wonderful job, but let's move you here, 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 here. I never had a consistency factor for me when it comes to teaching. It's always like, okay, we're going to make you a reading resource. We're going to put you in the classroom. We're going to have you teach kindergarten or 3rd grade or 4th grade. Oh, no, we want to make you be a coach, or we want to make you do curriculum. It's like back and forth, back and forth. There is no consistency and it's no validation. I'm not one of those people that need someone to constantly tell me, hey, Alissa, you're doing a great job. But I am a person that I want people to be able to hear and to see that I am doing everything I possibly can to push students, especially students that look like me, into the right direction. If I can teach a child how to read in 9 months when no other teacher was able to do that 3 years prior to me, then I believe that speaks volumes. And don't isolate me or push me in a corner because you just want to show face and say, hey, I have a teacher here that's able to do it. Allow me to do it on a larger scale. Mm-hmm. So when I say I feel like my passion was taken from me, it's just the fact that I know that I have a strong personality, and it may not mesh well with certain people. I'm not political by any means. I will say what needs to be said, and I will stand by myself. And I think that is intimidating to some people. And so what people do is they try to silence you. And I feel like throughout my whole career, I have been told, you are a phenomenal teacher, but. And that but part for me is what made me not be passionate about me teaching in the educational sector when it comes to kids.
As Black women, do you feel you have to kind of alter who you are before you walk onto your school campus?
No. I don't feel like I have to alter who I am. Not going into the campus itself, but when it comes to going to meetings, absolutely.
Do you feel that same way going to meetings?
No. See, our difference is I've always worked for strong leadership. Mm-hmm. So I've never had an issue being myself or expressing myself. Mm-hmm. I've always, my best relationships has always been with my AP.
Do you feel like when you voice things as Black women in meetings that your voice is heard?
Oh, my voice is definitely heard.
Is your voice heard?
I believe my voice is heard, but somebody's going to take it as it was their idea and run with it.
Oh,
Not for me. I get my credit. I get that it comes down to leadership. Mm-hmm. Because a strong leader will surround themselves with people. Like, they fill in their gaps. Like, they know, okay, I'm principal or I'm assistant principal or whatever they may be. I don't know, like for me, for example, I don't know math. So when I become an AP or become a principal, you best believe my math coach is I'm going to be like, what you want me to do? Mm-hmm. Do this. Okay, thank you. And she's going to get all the credit. And that's exactly how my leadership has always been. Mm-hmm. Like, they know what they need. They hire those and keep those, retain those who can influence them, properly advise them, and will speak. Mm-hmm. If you don't have good leadership or leadership that you feel like will just steal your ideas and take credit for it, I mean, that's stupid because they're going to get the credit regardless. If shit hit the fan, who goes down? Principal. You elevate the grade, who gets the praise? The principal. But they still know that they need to surround themselves with a good team, and they need to praise those who are doing their job. Mm. Trust me, I have persuaded my leadership to do some tough things, and it always came out in the good for them.
So y'all both said y'all would teach, hypothetically, in her case, but critical race theory. So speaking of kids who look like us, are y'all in favor of standardized testing? Do you feel like it affects minorities differently? Because I'm gonna tell you, as a black kid growing up, I wasn't a good standardized test taker.
Me neither.
And a lot of my peers weren't either. That's why I want to know your opinions if you were in favor of it. And do kids that look like us do well?
See, for me, for standardized tests, I always tell my kids the same story pretty much every year. Even though I'm not in the classroom, I go talk to them. I'm like, look, I failed FCAT.
Yeah, I tell them too. I be like, look, I failed it.
I failed FCAT.
Ironically, I passed FCAT the first time, but I don't remember anything.
No, I failed that thing.
I tell them all the time, I failed FCAT reading. Mm-hmm. Was sitting in intensive reading. Mm-hmm. They knew I didn't need to be there. And now I got a master's in reading, and I'm your reading coach. Like, it doesn't define you. It's one test, and that test shows what you can't do on that one particular day you took the test. It doesn't show what you can do. So the only thing I tell them is, it's something that by law you have to do. Give it your all. Like, it's not everything. There's so many other ways for us to show that you are mastering the standards. It's just one little thing. Yes, it does affect teachers' VAM. It affects school grade. That's the only thing they look at to make school grade. But in the end, if you had a teacher that's been teaching intentionally all year and you actually try your very, very, very best, it's going to come out all right.
It's going to come out.
It's going to come out all right. Like, you might not get, we might have been marking you, for example, on level all year. And you very much are on level student, and you might score slightly below level on this test. You might get a 2 instead of a 3. But in the end, still it's just one test, and it's timed. So it's like, it's not that big of a deal for me. I do feel like for educators, we have to have something. They're probably going to hate me for this, but we have to have something. If we keep wanting to say that we want to be professionals, we want to be treated as professionals, we want to be paid as professionals, we have to have something to measure our effectiveness.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's going to have to be a standardized test. It has to be something that every single child takes that is exactly the same across the entire state. Might not like the test. It is what it is. It is what it is.
I agree. I mean, I tell students that all the time. Every time that I have to do third grade portfolio and every time that I'm speaking to a parent, I tell them, hey, when I was in 10th grade, I failed the FCAT by 1 point. They put me in remedial reading. I'm sitting in intensive reading. I finished the lady's syllabus in 2 weeks. She told me I don't need to be in her class no more. I just didn't test well. But, like my sister said, I'm getting my master's in educational leadership. I've been teaching reading for years. It doesn't define you. And I know that people will say, yes, your scores, it has been proven that your scores are equivalent to how you may be successful when you become older. But it's just one piece of it. And so when we are educating our kids, we tell them that, like, look, these scores is just one piece. It's just one part. Am I in favor of standardized tests? To measure out things, yeah. You have to have some sort of statistics or some sort of grade or something to look at to say, hey, how are we doing?
That's statewide, like something that everybody does. You have to have something.
It's data at the end of the day, or data, however you want to say it, because people say it differently. Data or data, it's just that. But I do think that there are times that it needs to be revisited, and who is helping to write the test. Because there are some vocabulary words that you will never be exposed to if you do not have those experiences with around you, within your home. It's not talked about. So yeah, I think it needs to be revisited, but I'm not saying I'm an advocate for it all the way. But if you revisit it, most definitely.
Do you both think that from the students you've run across, well, I'll tell you from personal experience, I don't see many people when we were coming up that wanted to be teachers or educators.
No, nobody want to do it no more.
Do you see that in the kids that you teach? Do they want to be teachers? People who look like us specifically, do they want to grow up and become educators?
I mean, few here and there.
Why do you think it's not as prevalent as it probably should be?
The media. I mean, think about the last couple stories. I mean, there was a huge protest about teachers not getting a due raise that they were supposed to get. Mm-hmm. Oh, y'all worked your effective years. Oh, we don't have the money. Like, people see that stuff, and they're like, well, okay, well, why are they not getting... They don't make a lot of money, period, but now you don't even want to give them...
What they earn.
Yeah, I'm talking about a $3,000 raise. Like, you don't want to give teachers that because now it's not in your budget. Like, so people see that stuff, and they're like, nope, can't do it. Or now, like, the media has really pushed out how low Florida is as far as everything. Even though they have moved up now to median salary, you still have to look at that. Like, I'm going into my 10th year. If you look at the pay scale now, the way that they did it, how they bumped all new teachers up, I'm $1,000 above.
That's it?
Yeah. That's it. $1,000 above. Granted, I have skills a lot of teachers don't have, so I make a lot of extra money. Yeah. Just gonna be real. I do. But, like, people look at that and be like, oh, so you could be 10 years in the game and only make $1,000 from a teacher that just walked on the scene. When we're like, they should have got it. Let me put that, new teachers should have definitely got it. But you also have to look at who's going to stay. The middle. That's where you need to put money at. The people who have already proved that they can do it, they're not going nowhere. Once you reach 10, 15 years, you're not going nowhere. You're going to make it to retirement. You need to pull their salaries up. New teachers, yes, the starting salary should never been that low. We should not be at the bottom. Should definitely have raised it to what it is, but they need to find more money, to be honest with you.
And speaking of, piggybacking on what she said, y'all can both comment. I know this question depends on a lot of factors: where you stay, where you live, how long you've been teaching. What's a good base starting salary for a teacher?
60.
I was gonna say 55, but yeah.
If you want people to go into education, I mean, it was in the news too. USF closing their undergraduate education program. Yeah, that's because they're not getting teachers. They used to have huge teacher interview days. Nobody's graduating with education degrees. Start the salary at 60. You'll get more people going into education. Better people too. Let's just be real.
Yeah. I mean, if you gotta look at it like this. How many jobs do you know? And I think we talked about this the last time. How many jobs do you know makes you have a degree? Then go sit for your certification. Not just one test. You got to take 3 tests. Make sure that you renew it. Keep up with your professional development points. But pay you less than $40,000 a year. That's where originally it was. It was starting.
Yeah,
it was $38,000.
38 was the starting pay.
When I first started teaching, $38,000. You mean to tell, because we've been teaching the same amount of years, almost 10 years later, you are just now boosting the starting salary
to $47,500.
Well, no,
they didn't even make it that much.
They didn't make it there. I was like, wait a minute, hold on.
They didn't make it
there.
You know,
they didn't make it there.
That's the goal.
So, and you got to think about the cost of living. So, no, it needs to.
60?
I say 55.
Should there be a cap? Like if you make it to like 20?
A cap for in the classroom, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
A cap for in the classroom. I would say the cap got to be 85, 90 because you need to be able to make more money as you go.
Yeah.
Currently, I think the cap is 68. I could be wrong.
I think it might be 62.
I'm not sure. I ain't near it.
You mean
I've made way more than that, but like I'm not near
so
the cap.
You think about that. I'm putting in 25 years, and by the time I retire, I'm only making 62,000.
Yeah.
Like the cost of living don't go up. Like
it always goes up.
Yeah, like I was like, it's going up. So it's just like, dang, I am raising other people's children. And I can barely raise my own. Now, I don't have kids. I just want to put that out there. We ain't got kids. But if I did have children, if you really think about that, I'm spending so much time raising other people's children, educating other people's children, that when it comes down to the time that I want to decide to have a family, I have to think about, am I going to be able financially to take care of this? Because there are a lot of teachers that I know personally that have been homeless, that still come into the classroom and give their all, but they are not making enough money to sustain their livelihood. And that is not okay.
Why do y'all think, well, I got a question, just y'all personal, why don't y'all get maternity leave?
Why don't we get okay, I know why education people don't get maternity.
Because it's a woman-led
It's a woman-dominated profession.
Yeah.
There's no way they can afford maternity leave.
I mean, if that was the case, on average, I don't know how many children a person has, but if I go on maternity leave tomorrow, who's to say the lady down the hall from me ain't pregnant? She gonna be on maternity leave too. Then the one they're gonna be paying maternity leave.
It would bankrupt the system.
Yeah.
That's why I just tell teachers to get short-term disability. Just get short-term disability. I do think we should have maternity leave and paternity leave.
Of course.
I just don't think that that's one thing I don't think they could really afford.
I see what you're saying, because it's a good point.
It's not a balance of the sexes in this field. Like,
it is a woman-dominated profession, but seeing that it is a woman-dominated profession, wouldn't you have, okay, these are women, they're going to get pregnant. Like, to me, it's just like common sense.
I think honestly.
you can take off.
Yeah.
Yes, that's built in. Your job is secure. Like, that's not like.
But y'all don't get a lot of time off.
You can take up to 12 weeks.
You have short-term disability.
No, you can take up to 12 weeks.
With your leave. But I was told, and I'm not for sure because we work in different sectors, I was told if you take that leave, you're not able to take that same amount of leave next year. If something happens, your job is not secure.
I don't know about that. If you give birth one year and give birth the next year, you're entitled under FMLA. That's the law. You're entitled to 12 weeks. Most people take 6 to 8.
Okay.
6 weeks for a natural birth, 8 weeks for a C-section, but you're entitled to 12.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is having school grades yearly put out, is that like a good measurement of how your school did?
No.
Because you work, I'm pretty, like both of y'all worked at schools, probably had really low grades, but.
No, not probably did.
Do you think that's a good measurement of how a school is truly performing?
I don't think it's a good measurement because you have to think of it. If they go individually and they look at each teacher, the quality, you have to think about the quality of instruction that a child is given. I know that there are some phenomenal teachers that teach at low grade schools. They are the best educators I have ever worked with, and that I am inspired by them daily. But their school grade has been an F for years. So when you're looking at it, there are so many other factors that go into it. You got to think about the community. You got to think about what are the resources that are given to certain schools. You have to think about, they always say breakfast, lunch. We're on that, nationwide, all kids are able to eat lunch for free and breakfast for free now. It wasn't always the case. So, it's just a lot of factors. So I don't think it is always a good measure, because I know people will say, well, what's the school grade? Oh, I ain't sending my child over there. They an F. Mm-hmm. I think it depends on the teacher.
I don't make excuses. So if school grade is what they're going to go by, that's what we're going to go by. Yes, there are tons of factors that go into it. We can talk about homelessness, not making it to school, starvation, not eating, can't wash their clothes, living in domestic shelter, drug abuse, da-da-da-da-da. The list can go on and on and on. But then they pay me to move children. Mm-hmm. That's what they pay me to do. Get rid of all the factors. All of them. Mm-hmm. They pay me to move children. So when they get school grade, come in, if that grade is an F, we ain't do our job. I don't care about the factors. We ain't do our job. Mm-hmm. School grade's there for a reason. Mm-hmm. Yes, you're going to have to overcome a whole bunch of obstacles. The school might not ever be an A school, whatever. They pay me to move children. That's what I'm going to do. I don't care what the factors are. School grade need to stay around because it holds people accountable. Figure it out, do what you need to do, and get the job done.
Is there anything, you said earlier you're going to be a lifelong educator. Is there anything that would force you to leave education? I'm kind of trying to hint at something that's becoming trendy. But is there anything that would force you to and anything that would entice you to go back into the classroom?
I'm not sure what you're hinting at.
There's a lot of things that will force me to leave.
There's nothing that I can't think of.
If you're asking me to teach something that I do not believe in, I will not do it. Now, if that is going to put my...
That's not going to make me leave.
If that's going to put my job in jeopardy...
Not like, I'm just going to quit, but would it make you question what you're doing?
I got a door. I close it and do what the hell I want.
Yeah, I'm going to do what I want to do. But if that's going to put me in jeopardy, then okay, so be it.
Ain't nobody checking for me. Like I said, like when you move children, they coming for you. Mm-hmm. I close my door, they going to leave me alone. Like, no.
So moving children to the next grade.
No, move children. Like they come into my room 2, 3, 4 levels behind, and I move them. Like they're on their way to proficiency. Ain't nobody finna come in my room and tell me what to do. They're gonna be like, "Can you come work for me?
Can you tell me what you're doing?
Can you tell me what you're doing?" They don't care.
But you can pass kids now, right? Even if they're behind.
Well, kids go on to the next.
That was one thing that I really was about to be like. So what did we do this year?
Yes.
Teaching in the pandemic.
But that's one thing I do like about our new standards. I know people hate them. But they have some new standards out that do help, like with remediation in the upper grades. But yes, once you get to a certain level, like did anybody see that article about the child that mom thought he was going to graduate high school?
Yeah.
Yes,
it's in Baltimore.
Yes, they had didn't pass no classes, but been there in high school 4 years.
Yeah.
Yes, that stuff happens. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So no. In elementary school, it's a little different. There's more laws around like age, and like you got to push them up to like 6th grade if they're, overage and stuff like that. But it will catch up to them. Mm-hmm. Like you need to close them gaps. So you need to do it very quickly so that stuff doesn't happen. But they're not going to graduate. I mean, that's why they base 3rd grade scores are used to figure out how many jails they're gonna build. So I mean, let's just be real. Like,
is there anything that would entice you to stay in education or go back into the classroom?
I don't know. I don't know if I can answer that question. There's nothing that I don't think there's a enticing factor for me. It's just allow me to do my job. Just allow me to do my job. I also think that the classroom is not for me, and I'm okay with saying that. Mm-hmm. I know some people be like, "Oh, I know that I'm a classroom teacher. I was born to do this." For me, I know that me being a classroom teacher does not work well with my personality, and I'm okay saying that. I know that I am a much better small group teacher. I know that I'm a much better mentor and coach than I am a classroom teacher. But can I be a classroom teacher and still do what I need to do? Yeah. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean that it's good for me, because this year my mental health was shot. And I think a lot of people do not take that into consideration, that your educators are still human beings and they still have things that they are dealing with on an emotional level, while still trying to give their best and their all to all the different moving parts of this whole process, which in turn is our stakeholders. But you're still giving your all and your best for that. And if you don't really take the time to reflect and see like where you are mentally, it will break you down.
I know you've had strong leadership. Has your mental health ever been in jeopardy?
Not as far as education wise.
Oh, okay.
No, nothing at my job has ever been pushed me mental health wise. No. Because
you get the sense, especially within the past year, a lot of teachers have quit the profession. Like they're fed up. A lot has been going on. especially when it was when teachers were teaching both like hybrid, they were teaching the kids in the classroom and the kids at home. How did that work out? Did you have to do that?
She didn't have to do
I'm
that.
not in the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
I taught a few online courses like to help teachers who were teaching online, like to show them, easier ways to do it. But no, we didn't have any hybrids at our school.
That was all year.
Do kids adapt well to technology, learning wise?
Kids know how to do everything.
They know how to use it. I'm talking about for their education, though.
I think
of course they know how to use.
It depends, because I had some really good e-learners that were with me all year, that they logged in on time, that they were ready, they were participating. But then I also had some that they didn't do well at all, and that I would encourage their parents to, hey, send them back. But that right there should have never been an option.
What?
To where a teacher has to do both.
At the same time.
At the same time. That should have never been an option. Because when you think about that, you are already over capacity mentally of what you're doing when you're doing it just face to face. But now add the element of, hey, now we need you to do it online simultaneously. I consider myself a very strong teacher. It took me a while to get it under wraps. To make sure, hey, my online learners are doing what they need to do. The kids in the classroom are doing what they need to do. I would be interested to see how my scores are, because that is a way to measure. We talked about it earlier, but I would be interested to see how well did my e-learners do versus how well did my face-to-face students do.
You said you didn't think it was a good idea either.
Well, I mean, we didn't have that. We had just regular, either you were teaching online or you were teaching in person, never at the same time. You might have had a morning class that was online and the afternoon class was online, but then after December, that all changed. Most people realized, hey, I need to send my child back to campus.
I know, Asia, I know you're a very ambitious woman. How far do you think you're away from becoming a principal or a vice principal?
Before I'm 40. Well, I'll be a AP. I give myself another year or two. A principal before I'm 40, hopefully.
That's a big task.
Yeah,
It's a
you
big
got this.
undertaking.
Hey, I support
It's a big
you.
undertaking, Asia. I mean, you can do it, but that's a lot. Like, because you're pretty much not off.
No, I don't think I'm off. I'm right where I need to be.
No, I mean, like, when you get the position, you're never going to have, like, a lot of time to yourself.
I'm not going to have a lot of time in my new position. I'm 12 months now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, 12 months.
You obviously never want to, you don't see education the same way as your sister, which is fine. But I know, obviously being your husband, that you're very passionate about educating kids.
Always.
But you do get bothered easily when you feel like your agency is stripped from you. Do you see that happen with other teachers? Or do you feel like it's happened more to you than most teachers you've been around?
I can't speak for other people. I don't know, because I think that a lot of people are like go with the flow people, because within teaching you are taught to adapt, to be flexible, which that is, you're going to have to be able to do that because everything is going to change on the drop of a dime. But in regards to myself, I don't think that's hard to answer. Like, I had a thought and then it was just like, no, don't say that. So I think it just depends. Like, I know the personality that I have.
Yeah. Yeah, both have strong personalities, though.
But I think I know myself a little bit more than some of my colleagues.
Oh, okay, explain. You like a tolerance level?
No, not a tolerance level. I think that people are in this mindset that because their profession is teaching, that is all they are.
Yeah.
And
some teachers do think that way. Like they'll never do anything.
I don't see myself doing anything else. That's how some people think.
That's how I think.
Yeah, where I don't think like that. I think I can do anything. If you give me the ability or the opportunity, I should say, to do it.
I get that. I just feel like there's no point of having a whole bunch of degrees in education and not work in education.
Well, see, my first degree.
I know your story.
I was like, my first degree is not in education.
Like, have degrees in education. Like, it makes no sense. No, it doesn't transcend to other. It does, and it doesn't transcend into other fields.
Yeah.
Like, if you get my bachelor's, early childhood education, what are you supposed to do with that? Teach the little children.
Yeah.
Teach the baby.
Yeah, we're going to go work for a bank.
Yeah. There ain't nothing else you're supposed to do with that. Like, so I can understand a teacher saying, like, this is what I'm supposed to do. I mean,
yeah. And you be stuck. But I think with that, because of all the responsibilities and roles that we play, you can use that to your advantage.
It's interesting you said, because you're right. If you get a bunch of degrees in a particular field of study, but what if you become depressed? A lot of teachers are depressed.
Go to therapy.
The therapy isn't like an automatic, everything's going to be well.
No, but just sitting there not doing anything, you're never going to get well. Yeah, so if you're depressed, you need to go talk to a clinical psychologist or somebody who can actually help you through the depression.
Because teaching is a obviously tough profession, but it becomes overbearing over time. When you don't see, maybe not your
I feel like any job worthwhile, anything that you're actually doing to benefit someone else, is going to have some challenges.
Yeah, but I think teaching has more challenges than most jobs.
I mean, because we're raising the future.
Yeah.
I get that, but I know for sure there's other professions that feel a lot of stress. More stress than we do. I mean,
I don't teach. I don't know.
Military.
Yeah,
but
law enforcement.
We're
nurses,
still in the top
doctors.
5. All of us, all the people that you just named, we're all in the top 5. Healthcare professions, military, teachers.
We have the same struggles as they do.
No, our struggles are different.
Completely different. There's
totally
theirs
different.
Is like
it's life or death.
Life or death.
Yeah.
So like that's why I'm like there are definitely more jobs that could push you easily into depression, and could keep you there longer. I mean, we have spring break for a reason. That's why I be telling people, like, when we on break, we on break.
People ain't on break.
Take the break.
They don't take the break. That's the thing.
Take the break. Like, there's a reason.
I'm just grading my papers. I need to make sure.
They're built in for a reason. To me, that's why I feel like.
You take your break.
Yeah, I ain't working this summer.
Take your break. Do you feel, outside of the 12 weeks you're talking about, do you feel teachers get enough time off?
I do.
How much time do you get off, like, in general?
8 days.
8 days? What are you talking about?
If that's part of our PTO, is that what you're talking about?
I'm talking about in general. Every month there's a day off.
Yeah, there's a day off within the month.
Day off pretty much every single month.
I thought you was talking about, like, days that you can take off. Like, hey, I got to do a doctor's appointment.
Like you get enough time?
Yeah, with all the other days.
I feel like some people take too much time off, but that's just me.
I think it's enough time.
I think you have enough time. I feel like people.
Do teachers take the time?
Yeah, they do. Some people take way too much time off.
Yeah.
Too much time.
I never hear that. Like, what you mean? Take too much time? Like, I ain't never heard this before.
If you're my student and we're in class, and you take a week off, are you learning anything? No.
Right.
Okay. So after past 10 days, I feel like that's too much time off. It's going to transcend to kids not making growth. And I just said that's what they pay me to do, is to grow students. So if I take all the days we already have, spring break, Christmas break, all the other regular 3-day weekends that we get, and then I still take another 10 days, and granted, people have their own situations. Something happens, great. I'm not talking about that.
Okay.
I'm talking about like just randomly, I'm just going to take off because I want to take off. Not like
we won the Super Bowl, something for the take off.
Yeah,
okay?
something like that. Something like that, or something, or like I'm gonna go take a week vacation to Hawaii just out the blue, like nothing like serious, because you are entitled to that. You have family issues, take it off. You have child issues, whatever. Something happens, take off the days, whatever. We'll figure it out at work. But if you just taking off, just take off. It's not planned. You're not telling nobody. Your kid's score is going to drop. Your kid's not going to make the growth. And that's what they pay you to do. So when you get up to 20, 30 days, I want to hear nothing. Nothing about why your kids ain't grow. They ain't grow because you wasn't there.
What do y'all foresee with the future of education within the next 5 to 10 years?
Major shifts.
Can you give an example or two? Both of y'all. This open forum. You can say whatever, as long as you can keep your job. I know how stuff can get, especially with y'all.
No, I do think they will. The salary thing, I do feel like some changes will happen there. I'm not saying it's going to be like drastic, but I do feel like they will make some adjustments there. I do feel like they will start giving more credit to support staff, which they need to. I think the pandemic definitely showed that. To like aides and cafeteria workers, custodials, like all the support staff that people don't realize help run a school. And if you eliminate them, it's like stuff gonna go crazy. I feel there will definitely be some more shifts in far as like what they expect from teachers. People might not like this, but I do feel like there will be more and more accountability coming down on everybody. So that's just what I foresee.
I don't envision a lot. I don't know. What I would say is that I hope that education would change in a more positive direction. I know me and Asia do not agree on this, but I believe that no matter where your child goes to school at, that if you chose to put your child there, then whoever is in front of them, I pray that they are giving them their best and they're giving them what they need in order to be successful when it comes to teaching. I know that a lot of people are upset when it comes to how public schools are being portrayed in the media, or charter schools are how they're being portrayed in the media, or even private. So I think that it's going to be a lot of major shifts when it comes to those three educational sectors. The accountability piece, the same accountability piece that you hold for public, I most certainly believe that accountability piece needs to be held for private and charter. Mm-hmm. I believe that. Because
I don't know about private, but for charter, definitely.
Well, private, yes, because if you are still getting federal funding, which a lot of them are still getting federal funding.
Yeah, somewhere. Yeah.
If you're getting federal funding, you need to be held to a standard. So that's all I can say.
Any final words?
Y'all pray for me, okay? Because I don't know where I'm going in my life, okay? You know, this transitional phase. Y'all see my shirt, teaching is my calling.
Now, I'm just going to tell people in the trenches, keep doing what they're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep teaching. Keep loving on these kids. Keep being everything that they need.
And we need it.
All of
they need it, yeah.
We know teachers wear multiple hats. Sometimes you the mama, you the counselor, you the therapist, you the referee, you the lawyer, you the
lawyer.
You are the lawyer.
You are the lawyer.
And you the judge.
You are the lawyer.
Yeah.
You got to be all those different roles at different times. Just keep doing it. If nobody tells you you're doing a great job, you are doing a great job. If you made it through this pandemic,
y'all MVPs. Everybody got Teacher of the Year.
Yes.
Even if you didn't get it, I will make you a reward and I will mail it to you because you are the Teacher of the Year for 2020, 2021. Because honestly, the stuff that I've seen people do this year, it's amazing. It's amazing. So.
And stop working over the breaks. Stop working over the breaks. That's my last
take
piece.
your summers off. Stop buying stuff. Stop going to Target and going to the dollar aisle and buying stuff for these kids. They ain't think about you. They at Wet n Wild or wherever else they go. They at Busch Gardens. Spend your money on you.
Women,
over the summer.
If y'all are watching this and y'all have husbands like me, my wife's not working over the break. I don't care if she tried to. She's not working over the break. That's our time. And you need time off. You need to relax. I know you're passionate about what you do, passionate about educating the kids. You love the kids, but that doesn't mean you put yourself last. You do have to put yourself first because y'all have families to raise and you have dreams that you want to accomplish as well. So I want to thank y'all both for coming on again. This was delightful. I be picturing in my head, man, if you're going to argue, they're going to clash the whole time.
You ain't ask no questions worth clashing over.
No, we ain't.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
So we're going to end this on a peaceful note. I love everybody. Critical race theory will be taught.
Will be
by
taught.
Will be taught.
Beautiful black women. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.